Art. Okay. Yeah, so we're finishing the XR panel and we're the XR track, and we're finishing it with a panel, and the panel will be led by our first speaker, which is Thomas Tumosa.
Hello, welcome. Is my mic? Yeah. Is it working? Yeah. Thank you all for coming. Bum 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 bum. It's working now, yeah. Thank you everybody for coming to the futuristic panel of VR, XR, and the future and stuff. So the thing is, currently the VR field is quite niche. People are saying, oh, this is like an emerging technologies. People are still saying this is some kind of a mysterious new field, and no, still a very niche kind of a specter of people believe in it, understand it. But the thing is that it's somehow after like 5 years of being amazing. The people who were into VR, they're saying that is groundbreaking stuff, right? But still, after 5 years, there's not too many people who know about VR at all. No, the ones that try say that they're getting sick from it, they're getting motion sickness, they're getting whatever, and it somehow doesn't stick the way we experts think it should stick. So today we're having the panel of experts, and we're just gonna kind of talk about the problems that VR is facing, what can be done, and all things considered, if everything's going well, where is the ceiling of VR? Where can it get us as humanity? Can it kind of improve our lives and make the better tomorrow, brighter tomorrow? So I'll just let people introduce themselves. Do we have Parul online, or is she not going to be here? So it's going to be a little less futuristic. We're only going to be here as physical people. So I would like you guys to introduce yourselves. Maybe let's start with you, Raimonds.
Yes, hello. Hello, my name is Raimonds Ūdris. I am one of trauma simulator developer. I am working with virtual reality about 6 years, and I am game maker, a programmer, and yes, I'm still very experienced in programming and virtual reality especially.
Nice. So let's go. This was Raimonds Ūdris, and then let's go to Yaraslau. Would you please introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Yaraslau. I'm a game developer and researcher. Worked with VR, AR like for a dozen years. Worked on different technologies, games, VR for health, and so on and so on. And I do a lot of speeches and research for different companies on VR. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And last but not least, Girts Kesteris. Would you please?
Yo, I'm Girts Kesteris. So I have been working with AR and VR for 5 years, I guess. Whatever, but yeah. Well, currently I'm a VR studio lead at Hyper Reality. I'm also an AR contract developer at Ubiquity. So I have been doing lots of VR games that collect dust. Lots of AR experiments, also collecting dust. Lots of failed attempts to do something, but that's how you do something. I mean, that's how you succeed, I guess. And yeah, that's me. Oh yeah, also I lecture at Vidzeme University. I lecture Unity, and now for the 3rd year I'm lecturing also VR and AR in Unity, like a fast course, how it works. Thanks.
Like a programming? Like you teach how to program with VR, AR, or just kind of put blocks in, put on heads?
How to develop. Programming is a bit more strict term. Mostly programming, but I would say how to develop, how to add the content, and maybe understand how the content creation works and how it's added to the whole thing. You have like a ready content or partially ready content, how you implement that in how you make it so it lives.
I got it. And by the way, can you tell me what your name means in Latvian? Does it have any meaning at all? Or it's just-
Girts?
Yes.
No, it doesn't mean the same thing. It doesn't mean anything really. It's not drunk in Estonian, Lithuanian.
Yeah, exactly. Lithuanian girtas means drunk, so I was just wondering if there was...
It's a Latvianized short version of Gerhard.
Okay, thank you very much. Alright, so...
My last name means terrible thing in German. You want to ask what it is?
Yes, please.
Not a very good piece of organic something. But in Russian, in Belarusian, it's cat. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Nice, so you have beautiful names, guys. Alright, so I'll just kind of, I'm sure all of you, I'm not sure how much about you, Yaraslau, but you're all like developers, creators, right? Mostly. So I was just wondering, me as a creator, I got this kind of a curse where I do not want to play any more games because I'm creating games, and so like whenever I kind of play some sort of a game, I get a feeling of when I'm just when I'm like playing, I'm just thinking, okay, this mechanic does this. This makes sense. I can think of it. Maybe I'll use it for later time. So have you ruined games for yourselves too, or do you kind of still play something sometimes?
Yes, I still play. I play very many games, so, especially in virtual reality for now, because I'm making so many prototypes. I just like making prototypes, especially in virtual reality, and then I check every new game what is going for now for Oculus Quest. But yes, I like playing these games and seeing what's new, what's nice things it is developed in new games.
Yeah, but exactly. That's what I kind of meant, saying that you play to try to find something new, which you can use for your own games, like what can make sense for you to do later, or is it not the same case?
Yes and no. More yes, because yes, of course, I see, for example, some new mechanic or something interesting thing, especially playing Alexa.
Half-Life Alyx, you mean?
Yeah. And you can try this new mechanics. It's very interesting. But entertainment is very big part of this game playing too.
Nice. Anybody want to comment? Like, if you play any, what is your favorite game? What you're playing right now? Is it VR game?
Oh, so I have a T-shirt, and I happened to finish Quake Remaster 1 recently. That's pretty weird. But in short, do I play games for fun? Yes. Did I used to analyze all the contents of the game? Yes. Do I do that now? No. I try not to do. For several years I had problems playing games because I approximately knew how they were built. Later on it somehow switched off. I don't know how. If I want to, I can do that. If I don't, I just enjoy a game. That's, I don't know what happened in last 4 years. But again, I'm more of a strategy game fan or grand strategy fan. So like.
Yeah, talking about that, what do you think about strategy games in VR? I mean, do they work? Because every time I kind of try to go into some strategy game, it just feels like there's not enough dopamine rushing. I'm just standing, looking at numbers, kind of pressing some buttons, like UI buttons, and it's just like I start feeling the weight of the headset. Like, strategy games are kind of wearing me down. Is it not the case for you?
So, well, if I'm playing a strategy game, I'm sitting by the computer and playing it. But even like many grand strategy games, all you see pretty much is statistics and numbers. While if you want to do a strategy game in VR that would interest me, it needs to be some sort of streamlined or fast-paced experience, because you have the weight of headset on you, and you just can't enjoy things more than, I would say, like a 20 minutes, and that's it. So you need to have like a streamlined strategy game experience in about 20-30 minute session, or maybe even faster sessions than that. So you can maybe you can try several sessions per one play, which would be like 20 minutes or so. So would I play grand strategy games in VR? I would try, but I would say I won't play them. Yeah.
Okay, and going away, I think from the games, or do you also play Yaraslau?
Yeah.
Yeah, please tell us.
Yeah. Well, as working in games in more than like 26 years now, I have to play games. I like games, and I don't know why people should stop playing games. If it's a good game, people play it for enjoyment. If it's not a very good game, people play it to see what's better about it, and maybe they help to creators. You create new content, you want to get inspired, you want to evaluate. It depends on what position you take, but you play games. And if you do exactly the same as I am, it's not necessary that you will feel the same, because we're all different people and we all have different approaches. And in VR is more difficult because yes, you have this stress to your perception, to your body when you play VR. Depends on your individual features, and indeed you need to have shorter session. But why not? I mean, we have to play it. As a creator of content, you have to constantly get inspired to develop this aesthetic sense, and to play good, popular games, to see what's good about them. It like appreciate things. You're learning how to make good quality product, and that basically what you have to do. You have to play games. Of course, there are a lot of games I didn't play, and I have them on my list. I owe them the presence. They're waiting for me there, and I don't have time for them. But then I'm looking for some kind of job or some kind of like duty to, so I would have to play them for work. That's one way to cheat. Yes, for research purposes. Yeah, it's like.
Yeah, right. So I think you can keep the microphone. I would like to know if you're using VR for any other things than gaming. Let's say like after work, do you ever put on the headset to do something in VR that's not gaming?
Well, as I mentioned in my speech, which covered basically all aspects of VR and statistics on them and trends, and the research of VR-AR Association, we call it Varvara, actually shows that on 66% of VR used in healthcare, and entertainment only takes 1/4 of what's left. And entertainment includes not only games, it includes also museums, like virtual trips, and a lot of other stuff, even porn. So there's a lot of other issues with it, and I myself was developing VR not only for game, was using for like one of the companies we have. It works with Ministry of Civil Defense. One of the companies we have is healthcare, like, and we had been doing research on human perception and reactions to virtual reality, and we were doing the research on stress, on motion sickness, which you mentioned. Also, we were doing some research which we would put in the game pros, which we made with the team. It's a whole lot of stuff, and as we discussed here, one team even invented new color we don't have in physical reality, working in VR with our perception, mixing different effects on the eye. So it's a whole lot of stuff. And VR is not only headphones. I mean, there are other VR technologies.
You mean headsets?
Yes, not only headsets, not only headgear. It's also dome technologies. I mean, front pictures, which I mentioned, they have like creating hardware for all like planetariums, and they actually were serving Eurovision Song Contest, and they were actually running for America's Got Talent and got to the finals. They creating this immersive experience. It's a huge industry, immersive experience, which has a lot of other technological things virtual reality costumes which study human being and used by NASA, training, education, online like virtual reality shopping.
Yeah, but do you do any like virtual reality shopping? Do you go to any museums yourself?
Yes, why not? The museums, by the way, during the COVID, a lot of museums, they opened virtual reality exhibitions, and you could do that, and in in domes as well.
Did you go to any?
Huh?
But did you go to any?
Yes, but I unfortunately don't have a lot of possibility to be in to use your virtual reality for a long time. My sessions are small.
Exactly, that's actually where I'm kind of trying to put the conversation towards, like, where basically we're just people are using virtual reality for things that they would use in a normal environment. I think this is what these questions are inspired kind of by the quarantine. So I would like to know before you get more, because I'm sure you're gonna get your chance about the metaverse to know about more. But can you tell me, like, Girts, Raimonds, do you go to like any platforms like VR chat, any like Altspace? Did you visit any like conferences? Did you, for example, because when the quarantine hit, right, everybody was at home. We as people with VR headsets, we had a huge kind of power to interact while others were not. So did you do anything during the time?
Yes, because I am very virtual reality geek. I am working with virtual, not only working, just being in virtual reality about 5 hours per day. It's still my work. And sometimes I just looking YouTube video, or sometimes I going to Discord chatting. It's absolutely not virtual. Yeah, it's not virtual reality is this environment, but it is. You just put these glasses. You don't see anything around you, and you just chatting. Is this? Of course, yes.
How do you chat
yes, this is little bit problem, yes, with these controllers.
Yeah.
But sometimes you can switch this hands on and trying playing with this, and it's of course this writing things, it is very hard in virtual reality, but yes, but I like this doing these things, and yes, of course I playing this VR chat many hours, just chatting with other peoples, and for now I waiting for this Zoom this application in virtual reality. It's seems in next year be, and yes, I am impressed with this.
Yeah, so basically like chatting in VR.
Not only chatting, it is Zoom. It is one of, yes, it is chatting, but as I said, my daughter, when I have my first this Oculus DK1, yes, first
development kit.
Yes, absolutely, this pixel, this graphics, and I give my daughter be 7 or 6 years, I don't remember, and he put these glasses and see video about 10 hours, just video, plain video, not virtual reality, but yes, this is, I know, I like it, I just get some fun from it.
Nice. Any stories from you, Girts, about being in virtual reality? Have you visited some conference, some event, some theater or whatever?
No.
No? You don't do that?
I'm boring, sorry. So VR for me is kind of like another medium for gaming.
Okay,
so
I get it.
So mostly gaming stuff. Maybe I have tried VR chat, few things, watching videos, but other than that, it's the 1998 point something. What I do in VR is try games, play, but yeah.
That's nice. So, I get it. You're all people working, researching and stuff. So I was just wondering. You just said you had a talk about locomotion of VR, right? It's a very, very important topic. I think all three of you mentioned about the motion sickness, about problems being inside VR. So I was wondering if that's kind of like the main limitation, and what can be done. What kind of solutions can be made to lose the motion sickness? Can we overcome it, or is it just like something people just gotta get used to?
question for me.
Yes.
So I would say one, yes, you can. If you want to use VR, you have to kind of get used to it, but you can't simply use the typical ways how to move around in like in a big VR applications. Like you can't have a joystick and move around like you would do like in a first-person shooter.
Why not?
You get motion sick, for example.
But it's not true. It's only true for old people mostly, because
Then I'm old.
Because their brains are kind of already formed and they're not used to new input. For example, kids basically they just put on the headset and they don't even understand that they're sick. They may be sick, but they play some, they get used to it, and they never get sick anymore. And for me, at least like personally, I was at first I was very sick when I think one of the first things I tried in VR was a roller coaster. I had it on for a few seconds and I knew like it makes me sick. It's terrible. But I went to play some of the multiplayer games like Rec Room, where just basically you find some teammates. Mostly it's a game for kids. So I was like a grown up besides kids, and they were all walking with the thumbstick with a controller. They were just moving around, and I, as a kind of a noob, I was just walking with a teleport. You know, like you just press the teleport and you teleport to this location, and they were roasting me, saying, "Oh my God, you're so slow. You can't do anything. You can't fight because you're not moving around with the thumbstick." So I just kind of started moving with thumbstick, got sick for a little while, but then I got kind of used to it because I think somebody told me that the motion sickness is basically your brain not understanding that you're kind of physically you're standing in the same place, but virtually your eyes are seeing things move. So they interpret it as you're having some mushroom trip. Maybe you're on psychedelic trip and you want to kind of throw up so that it would end quicker if you throw up those mushrooms. So I'm thinking just basically you need kind of to train your brain to get used to the motion sickness, to not view it as some sort of psychedelic experience rather than a game that you put on and you just game with the thumbstick. So like, so what do you think of that?
So over time it gets easier. However, you still get tired from that. But another thing is, for example, it's when I was a little child, whatever, any motion in a car was a vomit fest. And now it isn't, because I'm driving my own car and it's easier. And well, later on, teenagers, I could like drive a bus and read at the same time. It got better, but anyway, you get tired after that. So.
But you get tired because of the headset being heavy on your head.
No, not necessarily. It's not that. So there's like a certain type of getting tired. It's not just like that you're getting tired, that you have your headset and you have like your all vision occluded and you're seeing something whatever you're seeing in VR device. It's also that your brain is pretty much confused what is happening. You're kind of used to it. You're used to this. From my perspective, I get motion sick really fast. It's not like when I initially tried VR, I was like insta motion sick. Now it's a bit easier. However, it has gotten easier, but I still get tired, and I will. It hasn't changed in any way. So this is, but that's how I react.
Okay, so
how my body reacts.
For you personally, I think you're kind of a developer, right? You probably made your own kind of solutions of locomotion, right? So you wouldn't get sick while not only being able to walk with a teleport. Did you make any kind of solutions that you think are better than a thumbstick walker, but better? That doesn't break immersion as much as a teleport? Did you do any of that?
Blurring the edges of each eye, that a bit helps. That decreases the motion sickness, like gives to your brain a false signal that you're kind of moving, but something is still not. Like it's like a tunnel
when
vision.
you walk with a thumbstick, it turns
yeah,
up the tunnel
for
vision,
each eye separately at each side, so you have like this tunnel vision. It's easier.
Yeah. Okay.
For it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's one thing, and also I like when in the games it's nice. For example, if you're doing rotations, and especially if you want to do sudden rotations, and with a controller, I tend to rotate it with intervals, with certain angles, not like smooth rotation, but immediate rotation.
Like 45,
so
you just kind of.
it's the same. It's the same thing like where I test some games, and I know that nothing will happen. I tend to close my eyes for a moment and then open them to decrease the time I'm in this state where I'm moving and my body isn't. So that's one way how to do it, to get used to it, but it's not getting that much better.
Right. So, but for now, you would say like the best solution is walking with thumbstick with a tunnel vision. Because I've said,
well,
I've
that's
seen
a
there's
workaround.
like, I've seen there's some rollerblades where you just buy some like motion kind of controllers, so you just kind of walk like this, being in VR, walk like this. I also know like there's one where you move your hands like this, so you would kind of swing your hands, and with each swing your player gets further, but you don't get a sig because you manually do like the swinging with your controllers. Have you heard about it?
Yeah, I have tried. Well, I have tried it. It helps, but you also get motion. I also get motion sick from that, but not as much. So I can say it helps. Yes, like a skiing simulator and all that stuff. Yeah, you basically, yeah, you are doing something physical. It's something that you're used to.
Right.
Kind of. I mean, I have done skiing, and oh yeah, I'm doing that in VR, but still I get motion sick because something doesn't add up. Maybe higher frame rate might help, or I'm not sure.
Yeah, but I can see it's just still a problem. I thought like I didn't go to your talk. I just went at the last second, and when I came out, I thought you solved the issue. So I was just wondering if you had some like magical solution.
Yes, I have a magical solution. Not using VR in
Okay,
that
I
case.
see.
I'm just kidding. So it's a combination of different locomotion mechanics. So first, the easiest is of course you have like you have a VR pose. Camera is updated. You move. You move in VR.
It's not magical. Let's skip it. If it's not magical, let's skip it. Let's just
well, if you put that on somebody who hasn't tried VR, it's magical. Like you move with your headset. Wow, and you can interact with stuff. Next thing is point and teleport. It's nice that you have
boring.
it there.
It's terrible.
It's boring, but you have an option to not use joystick movement.
Yeah. But I mean, it's still not magic. I thought like maybe you just invented something amazing.
I'm that noob in levels who's doing
I see.
VR teleports.
We're gonna need to play sometime together. So I will kind of roast you and say, hey, come on, turn on the thumbstick walking, man.
But yeah, well, there's also such thing called redirected walking, but that's more like a experimental research thing, basically, where you have like a play space. Imagine 2 meters play space.
Yeah, but it's a gimmick. It only works for some. Like you just walk around the same room and it just generates the environment, so you don't feel like you're walking. But it's just like Labyrinth. It only works for labyrinths and whatever. So it doesn't make sense. It makes sense for certain games. But I mean, let's move on from the locomotion. We haven't invented anything. We didn't break the world. But I mean, I was wondering, Yaraslau, what do you think? What do you think can make VR popular? Like, what can make like the biggest thing that everybody jumps? Because I can still see people are still buying PlayStation 5s and being very excited, even though it's just like a certain graphical improvement. Why isn't there as big of a buzz when like a Quest 2 came out?
It is a big buzz. I mean, it's a big buzz. People consider that VR is a headset which you used to, which actually hurts you. Everyone knows that having screen in front of your eyes and loud noise in your ears is bad. Everyone tells you it all their lives, but then you go and buy very expensive equipment to get exactly the same thing, which ruins your health basically. You have impaired vision and stuff. There are a lot of issues which have to be fixed. And but VR is big. It gets bigger every day, and there are many technologies connected to it. It helps us to study a human being itself, even our own reactions. It is big. It's there are also equipment cost issue which should be addressed to, like also how easy it is to set it up, also like how it is used in environment around us. For example, if children will see that it's in school and it's Ministry of Education approved, they will use it. But actually, if you read at least instruction of at least one headset, you will see a lot of limitations. For example, for children until at least 12, and in some cases until 18, you will see how dangerous it is to have basically any kind of other sickness or illness at the same time as going to VR, because your immunity is impaired and adoption to a new, like, your filters and your comprehension doesn't work as well. You get motion sickness more, and you have this ill feelings even after the session for a long time sometimes. I mean, I had once went into VR for like 15 minutes and I was ill at that moment. I had cold, and then I felt bad for like 48 hours. It just depends on the person. It's very individual, and of course the next generation will probably be more adopted than us, and they will be better with VR, and it all around us, it gets integrated. China is now one of the biggest investors. America got behind, unfortunately, here, but maybe it's the best. And they also adopt it at work. I mean, parents will encounter it at work. Definitely, they're not gonna stop to buy it at home. They 51% of Chinese manufacturers actually uses VR technologies, and they improve production at many rates. So you can see all those numbers. I can show you, or you can Google up like my presentation there. It's all there. It increases, no problem. It's actually we had this technology is much older than we consider. It actually died out at one point because it appeared in 60s or so. But then we didn't have this other technologies which could make it popular.
In the 80s, there was already the hand. People could use like the full hand, and it was.
We didn't have Dolby Surround. We didn't have we didn't have this small productive screens and graphics, so we couldn't use it. But then, when this technology is developed, we could have we could apply it to create better quality VR, and it will improve in time. It's just a normal process, and of course, and a good sign that mobile like tools for mobile VR sales are dropping. It means that people understand that good quality VR pays up, and the sales of equipment, they went up and they go up. There's nothing bad. Everything is good. It will come.
Can it be that the prices are low just because Zuckerberg wants to have the monopoly of everybody only using Oculus headsets, and so that they're dropping the price, just like any, like, you know, Bolt, Ubers, right? The takeaway food, the taxis, right? They made their prices super low at first, to the point where it drove everybody out of business, and now they're just like putting the prices way up, and they just control the market. Can it be the same with VR, that Zuckerberg just wants to own the world?
No, because VR is a race. Like every one person here will tell you that every company is on the battlefield, and they sell you new version every now and then. They invent anything. And by the way, about the game ring as a new invention, also really helps in moving. You like driving. You have the sense of driving when you move this virtual ring thing. But there are a lot of new advancements they do, and they sell, and they compete. And they need to sell you this advancement every now and then, and they can lose the race, then someone else will sell. So they have to sell high. They can't sell cheap because they paid for this advancement. It costs money to do it, to put it in production, and then they have to make a new advancement. It's a race. If you play virtual reality with modern equipment, and you will play with virtual reality with 5-year-old equipment or like 6-year-old, it's absolutely two other experiences. And there will be new tools all the time. Motion capture technologies develop and probably will be part of virtual reality experience. So there will be many more things, and new gadgets invented every time, and full sense masks with 5D experience, virtual classroom, like in Iridescent Studio developed a virtual conference like soft in 2018, and there were conferences held. So it's already in many classrooms in the United States. They actually study in virtual reality. They have special subjects, virtual classroom programs. It's a big thing.
Yeah. By the way, at the same time, do you think children are gonna go to virtual reality schools? For example, if they're living some far away from the school, can it be like they're just gonna get some VR headset to their house and say you're going to the virtual school? So they would kind of just go in, get their own table, and have to like sit down and just watch all the lessons in VR. Do you think that's gonna happen?
You mean if children gonna do it, or if they will
No, if that's
have
gonna be like
this
the new-
opportunity?
No, I
Because
mean like it's gonna if that will replace Zoom when everybody just can get a headset. Like instead of
it's
being in
already
Zoom-
replaces Zoom. I mean, if at some conferences we had like a Europlay competition, we had this gamified version of conference where you have a character running around, and when you approach someone, you can hear, you see his real life faces, and you can hear what they're talking about. That's pretty cool, and it exists. It's already working. People use it. Why not? It depends on the preferences. It just we old people don't really prefer meeting in virtual reality, but new generation, I mean, they're starting to play. They're not like us, like searching for these new technologies when we were young, like trying to get into some like computer club, trading their soul for an extra hour on Dendy. And they're not like us. They already have it all around them. Maybe they're developing. Maybe their body will take the signals, the stress, and will adjust to new types of stress they're getting, and will be more endurant towards the stress virtual reality has. Who knows? We will see it. But it's a future all up for them. Why not? They will have definitely this opportunity. It's not a problem now, even now, and they will gladly see it. Children love those kind of things.
And by the way, do you guys know anyone who works in VR? Like except the developer who develops VR stuff, are there any like people who use VR to work? For example, I know a couple of examples. Is for example, some animators can just use VR applications to kind of take some let's say 3D model, press like record, move with the hand, like move some sort of a animal or whatever, stop recording and just kind of make an animation. And you can even like take a camera and you can, for example, press record, move the camera somewhere, then stop, and it's already like animated camera. So you can like make full animated movies inside VR. I also know like people do 3D sculpting. They make sculpts, like they put up some clay, move it, do whatever, and just make like 3D models. So are there like any other sectors where people actively use VR for work that's kind of changing their actual work?
Of course.
Please, Girts. We'll go to you, Yaraslau.
I had a course mate, I would say. He's doing cartoons, and VR. I mean, those are like animated cartoons, but in short, he loved Quill.
Quill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He experimented with a bunch of different ways how to animate. So yeah, that's one. Would I do the same? I'm not sure. Yeah, well, it's fun, but I wouldn't use that at professional capacity right now. I'm not sure. Well, yeah.
Yeah, it's like the animation, the 3D models, like they are cool. They're very easy to make, but they don't really feel like production ready. They're not the same quality as you would make with like the 3D kind of classical applications. I think so, but like any other, like what about like tourism? Are there like, for example, like tour organizers? What did they do when there was no work, right? Did they go kind of to VR chat, putting up their flag and saying, "Hey, my tour people, let's go walk around VR chat"? Did they do anything? Can like, for example, like tourism would be like an example. Did they do anything with VR, or do you know anyone else except for like the creative people who do VR stuff?
No comment.
No comment on this.
But yes, by now, as we know, we have these museums in 3D. We have cities in 3D and in virtual reality. We can going, and if we have some people who can take some tour, why not? But do
you know if that's happening already?
No, I don't know. Yes, I don't know. Maybe it is, but I don't know. It is, but but it is absolutely possible. I think it is just needs. There is little bit problem about this before talks because virtual reality not so popular. Not so popular than
As to
the
get
PC.
some sort of crowd, right?
Yes,
So it's
yes.
hard to get people to
Yes,
join.
yes, of course. Because yes, children playing games, some young people playing games, but it's maybe it's not interesting going some excursions about around cities. These people who is going this excursions, this is maybe not interesting in VR. Yes, it's but if we continues with this COVID situation or something else, why not? Maybe be some services, and it is very interesting idea. As, we have virtual tours in some museums. We can going in museums and listening this excursions, and of course, why not it in virtual reality and going sitting and my camera just around and I listening some people just talking, and if I can ask some question, yes, it's very good.
Right. I just want to kind of get more into like the science fiction kind of way, and kind of move towards that. So I was just wondering, I know you working on like this military, right? The medical kind of solutions for training. I was just wondering, would it be possible to would it make sense to have some, let's say in some medical facility, in some hospitals, you would have like robots that are kind of offline, they just stand by there, and if there's and doctors, would they be able to work from home with VR headsets? So for example, when there comes time to do some sort of operation, they can put on the headset, put on the headset, turn on some robot inside the facility, and kind of with a thumbstick they can move over to find the patient,
Yes,
being as a robot.
But it happens now.
Is it
Yes,
please
it's
tell us more. Does it happen?
Not of course from home. Yes, but it's in just some operation room. Yes, it's doctor can grab this headset. More it is augmented reality, and it's can be repeat your hands commands and can do with this patient. For example, yes, we in US it is making that.
Yeah, no, but
it's of course it's experimental. Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, like going further from experience, do you think it would just make sense for them to work from home? Like, where everybody's saying that everybody wants to work from home, like free kind of schedule. They want to just be able to do whatever.
I think not all things is possible doing from remote, from home, and this doctor thinks it's. I think is one of thing because. Doctor, I need to see this patient. It needs to be touch him and.
Yeah, but they may have some gloves that have haptic feedback.
No. Maybe in very.
When? Like when? 200 years?
Yes, no, I don't know. But for now, it's. I think it's not possible.
Yeah, but I mean,
medicine would be the last profession to do that, because it's also the only profession which doesn't have like distant education, and you have to be and the longest education, because 1 second like particle of the second detention of the signal, and you miss certain reaction and you can lose the patient, and it's a big risk, and
the internet connection can ruin everything,
or whatever. Yes, and also you get distracted and everything, and it's responsibility for life. It's not just all professions will adopt it, and then doctors, maybe construction workers would be cool, but doctors would be the last ones to do that.
Yeah, please, Girts, would you like to comment on that?
So, what will probably happen, and I think the first step kind of just happened. So we all do have devices like this, right?
Yes.
Mobile devices.
Yes.
Nice processors, right? Data data processing stuff, and say you have bracelets, and say you have glasses, but they are typical sunglasses or whatever wearable on your eye that you prefer, like you for example have like circular, like other guy has a different. So the first step has kind of already happened. The VR and AR will merge. It will be more common to just use the term XR. VR will be just one part of that. You will have those glasses, like Facebook released those Ray-Ban glasses just last week, I think, and yeah, and you would start seeing more of that and that. So the technology needs to get cheaper, more accessible to the glass size, and I would go even further to contact lens size. When you will be at that point, the VR or XR would be way more widespread. So why AR currently is a bit more widespread and it's easier to use. You have your phone, you just go on and oh, there's this thing, and you have like instant augmentation. Imagine you have like contact lenses doing this, and you just go around, hey, there's this guy, I have no idea what his name is. Oh, yeah, his name is Jānis. Well, oh, yeah, somebody just posted me a message. I'm gonna read that. Oh, yeah, I'm bored. I want to play some game. Your contact lenses, nobody sees that from outside, but somehow your view gets occluded, and you can play. Oh, maybe it doesn't really matter that much that your eyes get black. It would look weird, demonic, I would say. But or white or whatever, and you play a game and with your contact lenses, but currently more realistic variant would be typical glasses, sunglasses, shades, and you would just play Quake with style. I wouldn't say like Quake. The first thing that you probably would play on it would be Doom, like, since you can play that on a calculator
but you would need to kind of, if you're playing like an augmented Doom, it still would be a lot of work, because you would need to kind of get all the buildings and put the texture in them to make them look like because it would you're augmenting the real life, right? So it wouldn't be as easy putting Doom on AR.
I mean, I'm thinking from VR perspective. You have like fully occluded view. You see everything that you see in the contact lens. That's it. So you have two right. Images, one for each eye, and you have the very same principle that you are using for VR. And like when the modern Oculus VR arrived, it was like, oh, you're suddenly rendering one image on each eye. Whoa, that's witchcraft. And currently it feels similar, maybe a bit similar, but when the tech will arrive, it would be more, oh yeah, why didn't we do this before? So it's up to the tech getting smaller and smaller. So I would say in the next years we'll see more and more of them shades.
Yeah, but I'm thinking the shades will be the thing that brings the mass public to the immersive media,
yep.
Because it would make so much sense. Like, people will look so cool when they're in some like bus. They say they're just in the bus looking at nowhere and just beep, 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 beep. Everybody will look at them. I want to be like this guy, right? I want to be a school, right? So, but still, what I'm thinking is that probably VR is gonna kind of replace laptops and computers. So it's just kind of a tech that you kind of put in your backpack, and AR is like kind of the extension of phones. Like the next, it won't like run your biggest kind of VR experiences, but it just kind of adds like the name on top of the person.
I wouldn't say it will replace computers. It won't happen that easily. So more flexible work or something more like, I mean, it will still happen on computers. Like, I'm not working on phone. That's like a really stable technology for many years now, and I won't do that. I guess I'm old or something, but still, if you want to code or something or do some office work, you still need a computer, and you will need a computer for a while, but the need for computer will decrease over time. So the VR or the glasses, whatever, mobile phone, it will take away more tasks from you. For example, I need to buy eggs. Oh, I don't have to read email in my computer anymore that much, or something like that.
Yeah, but that's the same thing that's happening with TV. TV now is irrelevant. It's obsolete the same way so the computers are gonna be still here for some noise that you put on. You go back home, you put on with a computer, you put some Spotify, right, to get some music going. But it's gonna be like useless for everything else. It's just gonna be like most of everything's going to VR. Or do you think computers just gonna stay here forever?
Well, for work, for certain kind of works, but it will decrease over time. So, and for interactive stuff and entertainment, VR will get more and more traction. I mean, XR in general. So,
right.
Yeah.
I see, guys. So, for the last question, I just want you all to kind of to share what do you think is the end game of VR? How, like, is there any solution? What is like the last thing? Is it gonna be like some headset you put on and that just kind of puts you out and brings you to the dreams? Are you controlling the dreams, or what do you think is the end game of VR? Do you have anything in mind that can solve all the problems? Like something science fiction, whatever thing you can you have in mind. Please, Girts.
Simulated human mind. You live for an eternity and get mad. I mean,
what do you mean? So what, you simulate your own mind? For example, you go to some brain scanner, it scans your brain, puts in the scanned brain into yourself, and your brain is the simulated one?
No, you're living outside your body. The body is relevant, so you're just a digital neuron simulation. That's it.
I think you're just explaining afterlife.
And Soma the game.
Okay, well,
that's afterlife.
I think virtual reality as this at now it needs to be transformed into something else. Maybe it's something brain directly to the brain, but in that stage what is now, even without any wires, but it's very complex this device for now, and I think it needs to be transformed to somewhat.
I would agree that it's the problems they have. They can be improved, but still unsolvable. There are some other technologies would be, and the best way is, yes, indeed, like in Japanese animations, direct message direct to the brain. But this cannot catch on virtual reality, be as popular as augmented reality or anything, because one thing, when you get into it, you're vulnerable in real life, and you can't do anything in real life. You basically have to have safe place, otherwise you will bump into something. And with this, why it's dangerous to have like the shades with augmented reality, because I mean they just got Pokemon Go, and how many people died, and what if they will have it all over, and drivers, and God Christ save it, it's just terrible. People will die. It's dangerous. So there should be a safe environment. Maybe homes will have, like, you know, they have sometimes in some households movie theaters. They would have virtual room. That would be awesome. And they will have these screens all around you, and you will or maybe you will be just there with direct access to your brain or whatever. But there will be more regulation. There will be more research. Who knows what they invent next moment, but it's very dangerous to substitute. I don't think the eyes is the correct way to affect it, to make it closer. No, you need to get it farther, because one of the problems is that screen is too close. You need to get it away. and they are making on it. Front Pictures told me that they're doing something new, something cool. I mean, that company which made first in the world 360 movie theater, fully interactive in South Korea, Silverberry. It's just amazing. So they're already there ahead, and with full bodysuit of Tesla suit, you can basically do anything in that sphere, and it would be fully interactive. They have games you can shoot like. And you still get motion sickness. So
yeah, but I mean, like, for example, like my thoughts, I was just always just kind of thinking of how to solve this, how to solve the motion sickness. They're looking at the screen, so I think my end solution.
No, you can cheat your brain a little. It will lessen it. Like you can mimic in digital way. You can mimic real perception to make it faulty, because digital picture is too good. It's better than our perception. It doesn't have focus. When we take something, everything else, when you look at something, everything else is blurry. And when you go to virtual reality, it's not the case.
It's just flat, yeah.
It overloads our brain, and it's a stress, because we have a lot of ways, we have a lot of different dimensions of perception, and our brain has to filter them out. So to solve the problem, we need to affect in more ways, in more dimensions, to affect the human brain. So would be more compatible signals, less to filter out.
Okay, so as everybody can see, VR is gonna be useless unless we find some way to put it inside our brains. Like, that's the takeaway from this lesson. Right now, VR sucks. Everybody gets motion sick, and there's no solution right now. So thank you, everybody. Yeah, contact lenses is gonna fix everything. Contact lenses and brain intervention. Okay, so thanks everybody. I was Thomas, the moderator. With me was Raimonds, Yaraslau, and Girts. Thank you all for coming. It was a very nice time, a very nice panel.